The stars held secrets, but humanity was about to discover that not all of them were wonderful. On a quiet Tuesday morning at the Deep Space Monitoring Station in Nevada, Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her display in disbelief. The signal patterns were unlike anything she'd ever seen before: regular, precise, and definitely artificial. Within hours, the world's leading scientists confirmed what humanity had long suspected. We were not alone. The signal originated from an advanced civilization, calling themselves the Dominion, an expansionist empire that controlled thousands of star systems. Their message was simple and direct. Earth lay within their claimed territory, and they expected submission. The Dominion's first transmission included visuals of their civilization: massive orbital rings around conquered planets, ships that dwarfed cities, and weapons that could reshape continents. Their ambassador, High Commander Vexthor, appeared as a towering figure with iridescent scales and multiple sets of eyes. His message carried the weight of countless victories. "Your species has potential," Vexthor announced to the United Earth Council. "Submit to Dominion rule, and you will be granted the privilege of serving a greater purpose. Resist, and face extinction. You have one planetary rotation to decide." The council chambers erupted in heated debate. Some argued for immediate surrender, citing the overwhelming technological gap. Others called for diplomatic negotiations, but in a secure bunker beneath the Himalayas, a different conversation was taking place. Director James Zhang of the Advanced Defense Initiative studied the holographic projections of Dominion technology. Behind him, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Earth's leading quantum physicist, smiled for the first time in months. "Their fundamentals are all wrong," she whispered. "They've built their entire civilization on brute force application of standard physics." Zhang raised an eyebrow. "Explain." "They've mastered nuclear forces, gravitational manipulation, and faster-than-light travel," Elena continued, "but they're still thinking in terms of conventional cause and effect. They have no concept of quantum entanglement on a macro scale." The project they'd been working on for the past decade suddenly took on new significance. Project Myrior hadn't been designed with alien invasions in mind. It was supposed to be humanity's first step toward instantaneous global transportation. But its principles could be applied in ways the Dominion couldn't possibly predict. While the Council deliberated, humanity's hidden strengths were being quietly mobilized. In underground facilities across the globe, quantum computers spun up to full power. Satellite networks were recalibrated, and in laboratories that officially didn't exist, scientists made final adjustments to technology that shouldn't have been possible. The Dominion's second transmission arrived ahead of schedule. Vexthor's massive form loomed over the council chamber through holographic projectors. "Your deliberation time is wasteful. We detect no significant defensive capabilities, no fleet worthy of mention. Your cities are unshielded, your population vulnerable. Submit now, and we will ensure your species' survival under our guidance." Council President Maria Santos stood, her expression calm despite the threat looming before her. "We understand that you believe your technological superiority gives you the right to demand our submission," she replied. "But humanity has survived countless challenges by understanding one simple truth: appearance rarely equals reality." Vexthor's multiple eyes blinked in what appeared to be amusement. "Your species' pride is noted, but misplaced. Our scanners have mapped every significant installation on your planet. Your military capabilities are primitive. Your space presence is negligible. What hidden strength could you possibly possess?" "That's the wonderful thing about humanity," Santos responded. "We're very good at keeping secrets, even from ourselves sometimes. Your scanners see what they expect to see: a developing civilization barely reaching for the stars. But technology isn't everything, Commander. Sometimes understanding is more powerful than ability." The alien commander's dismissive laugh echoed through the chamber. "Understanding? You barely understand the principles that power our smallest ships. Your species still thinks in terms of rockets and chemical propulsion. Your greatest weapons wouldn't scratch our weakest shields. Perhaps, Santos agreed. But we understand something you seem to have forgotten. True strength lies not in the power you display, but in the power you keep hidden. She paused, allowing her words to sink in. This is our formal response to your demand. Earth belongs to humanity. We will defend it. Any hostile action will be met with consequences you cannot predict or prevent. This is not a threat, but a promise. The chamber fell silent as Vex Thor processed her words. His scales shifted color, displaying what might have been anger or amusement. Human sinologists weren't quite sure yet. You choose extinction, then, he declared. So be it. The Dominion fleet will arrive within 1 of your months. Your civilization will serve as an example to others who might consider such foolish resistance. As the transmission ended, Santos activated her secure communicator. Director Zhang, you heard. Yes, Madam President. Project Myror is ready. They won't see it coming because they're looking for the wrong things. And you're certain it will work. The principles are sound. While they've been perfecting ways to destroy, we've been learning to manipulate reality itself. They'll expect missiles, energy weapons, maybe some crude shields. They won't expect us to simply step aside. Santos nodded, though Zhang couldn't see it. How many know the full scope of our capabilities? Less than 50 people worldwide. We've compartmentalized everything. Even our own scientists don't know how their pieces fit into the larger picture. Good, Santos replied. Let's keep it that way. The Dominion's arrogance will be their downfall. They expect either submission or feudal resistance. We'll give them neither. Instead, we'll show them why humanity has survived every crisis we've ever faced. As the call ended, Santos looked out over the council chamber, now empty except for her senior advisors. Send the word to all nations, she commanded. Operation Quicksilver begins now. Let's show the galaxy why you should never underestimate human ingenuity. In the weeks that followed, Earth appeared to carry on as normal. No massive weapons were deployed, no space fleet suddenly revealed. To all outward appearances, humanity simply waited for the inevitable. The Dominion's long-range scouts reported no significant military buildup, no sign of any serious defensive preparations. They could not have been more wrong. Deep beneath the Australian outback, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched as quantum calculations danced across holographic displays. The facility, known only as Site Omega, hummed with power drawn from the Earth's core. Here, far from prying eyes, humanity's greatest scientific achievement was nearly complete. Status report. Director Zhang's voice carried across the command center. He'd aged visibly in the past weeks, the weight of Earth's defense resting heavily on his shoulders. Quantum field harmonics are stable, Elena responded, her fingers moving swiftly across the control interface. The entanglement network is operating at 98% efficiency. We've successfully linked all 7 subterranean facilities. Around them, hundreds of technicians and scientists worked with quiet intensity. They represented every nation on Earth, chosen not for their political allegiances, but for their brilliant minds and unwavering dedication. Each person in this room understood the stakes. Humanity's survival hung in the balance. The quantum displacement shield wasn't like anything the Dominion would expect. It didn't stop attacks or absorb energy. It simply shifted matter through quantum states, making it impossible for anything to actually hit its target. The physics behind it had seemed impossible just a decade ago, but humanity's understanding of quantum mechanics had taken an unexpected turn. In orbit, disguised as communication satellites, the quantum relay network continued to expand. The Dominion scouts observed them but saw only what they expected to see: primitive radio transmitters and weather monitoring equipment. Their arrogance prevented them from looking deeper, from questioning why a primitive species would need so many satellites. Director, Captain Sura Wu called from her station. We're picking up increased activity from the Dominion scout ships. They're conducting detailed scans of our major cities. Zhang nodded grimly. Let them look. Everything they see will confirm their assumptions. Have our quantum masking fields held? Perfectly, sir. As far as their sensors can tell, we're still using fossil fuels and basic fission reactors. All quantum signatures are being successfully masked by the satellite network. The deception was elaborate but necessary. While the Dominion expected to find a civilization scrambling to mount some kind of conventional defense, humanity's true preparations remained invisible. The quantum displacement shield was only part of the plan. In secure facilities across the globe, the nanite swarms were reaching maturity. Billions upon billions of microscopic machines, each one capable of manipulating matter at the quantum level. They were humanity's answer to the Dominion's overwhelming firepower. Not a shield, not a weapon, but something entirely different. Dr. Marcus Chen, head of the Nanite Development Program, approached Zhang with his latest report. The swarms are showing 100% coordination through the quantum network. They can shift between normal space and quantum states instantly, and their self-replication protocols are functioning perfectly. And containment? Zhang asked, knowing this was the crucial question. Multiple redundancies in place, Marcus assured him. The swarms can only function within the quantum field generated by our satellite network. Outside that field, they become inert. We've made sure there's no possibility of them getting out of control. The Dominion's earlier transmissions had revealed the basics of their technology. Impressive but fundamentally conventional. They relied on brute force. Massive energy weapons, impenetrable shields, and overwhelming numbers. But they had never encountered anything like what humanity had developed. In a hidden facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Yuki Tanaka monitored the quantum consciousness core, the true heart of Earth's defense system. It was an artificial intelligence unlike any before it, operating on quantum principles that allowed it to process information and make decisions instantaneously across the entire network. The core has finished its final simulations, Yuki reported via quantum encrypted channel. It's ready to coordinate both the shield and the swarms. Response time will be measured in picoseconds. President Santos, receiving regular updates in the Council's secure bunker, felt a glimmer of hope. The Dominion's fleet would arrive in just over a week, expecting to find a helpless planet ready for conquest. Instead, they would encounter humanity's greatest technological achievement. Not a weapon of destruction, but a system that fundamentally altered the rules of engagement. Have the evacuation protocols been distributed? She asked her chief of staff. Yes, Madam President. Every major city has received the quantum transmitters. When the shield activates, we can instantly relocate civilian populations to the underground shelters. The Dominion won't find the soft targets they're expecting. The plan was unprecedented in human history. A complete reorganization of civilization in moments, made possible by quantum teleportation technology. Cities that appeared vulnerable would become empty shells in an instant, their populations safely hidden in quantum-shielded bunkers across the globe. Back at Site Omega, Alina made the final adjustments to the quantum field harmonics. Director, she called out, I think you should see this. Zhang moved to her station, studying the complex equations flowing across her screen. Is this what I think it is? Yes, she replied, excitement breaking through her professional demeanor. We've achieved quantum coherence across the entire planetary defense grid. The shield isn't just stable. It's self-reinforcing. The more energy they throw at it, the stronger it becomes. For the first time in weeks, Zhang allowed himself a small smile. They've based their entire strategy on overwhelming force, he said quietly. They'd never considered that we might simply make force irrelevant. As the final days before the Dominion's arrival ticked away, humanity continued its elaborate deception. Cities buzzed with normal activity, militaries made token preparations, and governments issued calm statements about diplomatic solutions. Below the surface, though, the quantum network hummed with potential, waiting to reveal that humanity had changed the rules of warfare itself. The Dominion's most recent scouts departed, carrying reports of a primitive civilization awaiting its fate. They never detected the quantum field permeating every molecule of Earth's atmosphere, never noticed the satellite's true purpose, never suspected that humanity had developed technology that made their mighty weapons obsolete. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of power itself. The Dominion fleet emerged from hyperspace in a dazzling display of power. Over 10,000 ships, from nimble destroyers to massive dreadnoughts, filled Earth's orbital space. Their arrival cast artificial shadows over major cities as citizens looked up at the armada that had come to claim their world. High Commander Vexthor stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominance, his iridescent scales gleaming under the command center's lights. Multiple eyes surveyed the tactical displays showing Earth's apparent defenses, or lack thereof. A primitive space station, a handful of satellites, and some rudimentary ground-based weapons were all his sensors detected. Final analysis of the target planet's defensive capabilities, his tactical officer reported, mandibles clicking with barely concealed disdain. Their most powerful weapons are nuclear devices with yields measuring in mere megatons. No energy shields detected. Their space vessels are confined to low orbit and possess no significant armaments. Vexthor's secondary hearts pulsed with anticipation. This would be an easy victory, another testament to the Dominion's supremacy. Send the standard pre-invasion broadcast, he commanded. Let them witness the full might of their new masters. Across Earth, every communication device activated simultaneously, broadcasting the Dominion's message. Massive holograms appeared over cities, showing the fleet in all its glory. Vexthor's image loomed in the skies, his voice resonating with authority. People of Earth, behold the power of the Dominion. Your defiance ends today. Witness the futility of resistance. In one planetary rotation, we will begin the systematic destruction of your military installations. Surrender now, and your civilian populations will be spared. In the Council's secure bunker, President Santos watched the transmission with apparent calm. Director Zhang, status of our preparations. Everything is in position, Madam President. The quantum field is stable. Civilian evacuation protocols are ready. The nanite swarms are primed. We're just waiting for them to make the first move. Above Earth, the Dominion fleet began moving into attack formation. Thousands of ships arranged themselves in precise patterns, preparing to demonstrate why the Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds. Their energy weapons powered up, shields hummed with strength that could withstand the explosion of small suns, and targeting systems locked onto key locations across Earth's surface. Vexthor received an unexpected transmission from Earth's Council. President Santos' hologram appeared before him, her expression serene. This is humanity's final warning, Commander. Withdraw your fleet or face the consequences. The alien commander's scales rippled with amusement. You still maintain this pretense of strength. Our scans show no hidden defenses, no secret weapons. Your civilization stands naked before us. Commander, Santos replied, has it occurred to you that perhaps you're not looking for the right things? That perhaps your understanding of technology, of warfare itself, might be incomplete. For a brief moment, doubt flickered across Vexthor's features, but his pride and certainty quickly reasserted themselves. Enough. You will witness the price of defiance. All ships begin the attack sequence. Target their military installations first. Across the Dominion fleet, weapons officers activated their targeting systems. Energy weapons charged to maximum power, missile bays opened, and thousands of fighters launched from their carrier ships. The first wave of attacks would destroy Earth's military capabilities. The second would target infrastructure. The third would begin the systematic subjugation of population centers. In Site Omega, Elena Rodriguez watched the enemy fleet's movements on quantum-enhanced displays. They're deploying exactly as we predicted, she reported. Full dispersal pattern, maximum coverage of all strategic targets. Time to show them what they're really dealing with, Zhang responded. He opened a secure channel to the President. Madam President, recommend immediate activation of Phase 1. Santos nodded. Proceed, Director. Let's show the Dominion why they should have heeded our warnings. The quantum displacement shield remained invisible, undetectable to the Dominion sensors. Their first wave of attacks was about to encounter something that, according to their understanding of physics, should be impossible. Vexthor raised his primary arm, preparing to give the command that would begin Earth's systematic destruction. His victory was moments away, or so he thought. All ships, commence HFY. The order died in his throat as his tactical displays suddenly erupted with impossible readings. Something was happening to Earth's atmosphere, something that defied every principle of physics the Dominion understood. The quantum field, dormant until now, began to awaken. Earth's surface seemed to shimmer, as if reality itself was becoming fluid. The Dominion's targeting systems, trying to lock onto military installations and population centers, suddenly couldn't find their targets. "High Commander," his science officer called out in alarm. "We're detecting massive energy fluctuations across the planet's surface. But the readings make no sense. It's as if matter itself is shifting between states of existence." Vexthor's multiple hearts began beating faster. For the first time in his long career of conquest, he felt something he had never expected to feel while facing such a primitive world. Uncertainty. The battle for Earth was about to begin, but it would unfold in ways that would shatter the Dominion's understanding of warfare forever. Vexthor watched in disbelief as the first wave of Dominion weapons fire simply vanished. Thousands of energy beams, each powerful enough to level mountains, disappeared into thin air before reaching Earth's surface. The missiles, the fighters, everything the Dominion launched seemed to encounter an invisible barrier that didn't deflect or absorb. It simply made the attacks cease to exist. "Impossible," he roared, his scales flashing crimson with rage. "Maximum power to all weapons. Concentrate fire on their largest population centers." But as the Dominion fleet unleashed its full fury, something even more extraordinary happened. The quantum displacement shield didn't just protect Earth, it began to respond. Waves of distortion rippled through space, and wherever they passed, Dominion ships found themselves slightly out of phase with reality. In Site Omega, Elena Rodriguez's fingers danced across quantum interfaces. "Shield performance exceeding expectations," she reported. "The Dominion's attacks are actually strengthening our quantum field. Now initiating Phase 2. Director Zhang nodded grimly. "Release the swarms." From hidden facilities across the globe, billions of quantum-enabled nanites poured forth. To the Dominion sensors, they appeared as nothing more than atmospheric disturbances. But these microscopic machines were humanity's ultimate weapon, not through destruction, but through transformation. The first Dominion ship to encounter the nanite swarm was a mid-size cruiser. Its crew watched in horror as their supposedly impenetrable hull began to shimmer and fade. The nanites weren't destroying the ship, they were shifting its quantum state, essentially phasing it partially out of normal space-time. "High Commander." The panic in his tactical officer's voice was unmistakable. "We're losing ships, but they're not being destroyed. They're just becoming ghost images of themselves." Vexthor stared at his displays in growing horror. Hundreds of his ships now hung in space as partial phantoms, their crews trapped in a state between existence and non-existence. Not dead, but unable to affect the normal universe around them. President Santos's voice echoed through every Dominion communication channel. "This is what we tried to warn you about, Commander. Humanity doesn't think about warfare the way you do. We don't need to destroy your ships when we can simply remove them from the equation." The Dominion fleet's formation began to break as ship captains witnessed the fate of their companions. Some vessels attempted to retreat, only to find that the quantum field had expanded beyond their position. They were trapped in humanity's web of altered reality. "What manner of weapons are these?" Vexthor demanded, his authority crumbling as his mighty fleet became increasingly insubstantial. "What have you done to my ships?" Dr. Elena Rodriguez's voice joined the channel, clinical and precise. "We've simply applied our understanding of quantum mechanics on a macro scale. Your ships still exist, Commander. They're just slightly out of phase with normal spacetime. Don't worry. The effect is temporary. Once you order your fleet to withdraw, we can restore them." In the depths of his flagship, Vex Thor felt something he had never experienced in all his years of conquest. Absolute helplessness. His weapons were useless. His shields meant nothing. The very principles upon which Dominion technology was built had been turned against him. The nanite swarms continued their inexorable advance, transforming ship after ship into quantum ghosts. No explosions, no destruction, no loss of life, just the quiet removal of the Dominion's ability to wage war. "Director," Alina called out, "the quantum AI is detecting something interesting. The Dominion ship's power cores, they're based on principles we can exploit. If we reconfigure the nanites..." Zhang understood immediately. Do it. The next phase of humanity's defense revealed itself as the nanite swarms began to interact with the Dominion ship's power systems. Rather than simply phasing the vessels out of normal space, the nanites began reprogramming the ships themselves at the quantum level. Vex Thor watched in mute horror as his mighty dreadnoughts began powering down, their energy redirected and transformed by forces he couldn't begin to comprehend. The ships weren't just being neutralized, they were being repurposed. Fascinating. Alina mused, studying the data streams. Their technology is actually quite elegant, just limited in its application. The nanites are showing them possibilities they never considered. Across Earth's skies, the mighty Dominion fleet hung powerless, transformed from an invasion force into an impromptu demonstration of humanity's quantum mastery. Ships that had been designed to destroy now generated massive quantum fields that strengthened Earth's defenses. President Santos addressed the Dominion commander one final time. "Your fleet is now part of Earth's defensive network, Commander. Every attempt you made to destroy us has only made our position stronger. Would you like to discuss terms for your withdrawal?" In his command center, Vex Thor's scales had faded to a pale, defeated gray. The mighty Dominion, which had conquered hundreds of worlds through overwhelming force, had been undone not by superior firepower, but by a completely different understanding of reality itself. "How?" he finally asked, his voice barely a whisper. "How did we not see this coming?" "Because," Zhang answered, "you were looking for the wrong things. You expected us to fight on your terms, with energy weapons and shields, with fleets and armies. But humanity learned long ago that the best way to win a fight is to change the nature of combat itself. The battle for Earth was over, not with the destruction of either side, but with the complete transformation of what was possible in warfare." The Dominion had arrived expecting to find a primitive civilization awaiting conquest. Instead, they had encountered humanity's greatest achievement, the ability to rewrite the rules of reality itself. 3 months after the failed invasion, Earth's quantum defense network had evolved far beyond its original design. The repurposed Dominion ships, now integrated into humanity's technological framework, provided insights that accelerated human understanding of space-time manipulation exponentially. In the newly constructed Galactic Assembly Chamber in Geneva, President Santos faced an audience unlike any in human history. Representatives from 30 different spacefaring civilizations had gathered, drawn by news of the Dominion's defeat. Among them sat Vex Thor, no longer a conqueror, but a reluctant diplomat. "The events at Earth have fundamentally altered the balance of power in our galaxy," Santos began. "But humanity has no interest in empire building. Instead, we propose a new approach to interstellar relations." The quantum displays around the chamber activated, showing the principles behind Earth's defensive systems. It wasn't just a demonstration of technology. It was an offer to share knowledge that could transform civilization itself. "Our quantum manipulation technology has applications far beyond defense," Dr. Elena Rodriguez explained to the assembled aliens. "Imagine cities that exist in multiple quantum states, allowing for infinite expansion without consuming additional physical space. Consider medical technologies that can phase harmful substances out of living tissue, or energy systems that tap into the quantum fabric of reality itself. The alien representatives watched in amazement as Elena demonstrated the peaceful applications of humanity's quantum mastery. Disease could be eliminated by shifting harmful organisms into harmless quantum states. Energy crises could end through quantum power generation. Even faster than light travel could be revolutionized through quantum tunneling on a massive scale. In his seat, Vex Thor's scales had taken on a deep blue hue of contemplation. "We thought we understood power," he addressed the assembly. "The Dominion grew strong through conquest, through forcing others to submit to our will. But humanity—" He paused, mandibles clicking, and what had been learned was embarrassment. "Humanity showed us that true power lies not in destruction, but in transformation." Director Zhang, standing beside the president, nodded in agreement. "The quantum technology we developed wasn't created for war. It was born from humanity's desire to understand the fundamental nature of reality. When threatened, we applied that understanding to defense. Now we offer it in the spirit of cooperation." The assembly chamber buzzed with excited discussion as representatives realized the implications. Humanity wasn't offering to dominate or control. They were offering to elevate all spacefaring civilizations to a new level of existence. However, President Santos's voice cut through the excitement. "This offer comes with conditions. The era of conquest must end. No species will be permitted to subjugate another. The quantum network we're offering to share can be used for defense and development, never for oppression." The Arcturian ambassador, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, pulsed with approval. "You could have used this technology to establish dominance over all of us. Instead, you choose to share it. Why?" Elena stepped forward, her expression serious. "Because isolation leads to stagnation. The quantum principles we've discovered suggest that reality itself thrives on interconnection. The more we share, the more we all grow. It's not just philosophy, it's physics." In the months that followed, the galaxy underwent a transformation more profound than any military conquest could have achieved. The Quantum Concordat, as it came to be known, established new principles of interstellar cooperation. Ships that had once carried weapons now carried knowledge. Planets that had feared invasion began exploring quantum engineering. The Dominion, under Vex Thor's surprising leadership, became one of the strongest proponents of the new order. Their experience with humanity had shattered their old paradigms, replacing conquest with curiosity. In Site Omega, now transformed into the Quantum Research Academy, Dr. Rodriguez watched as alien scientists worked alongside humans, each bringing unique perspectives to the understanding of reality's deepest mysteries. "We've come so far," John mused, standing beside her. "From defending Earth to reshaping the galaxy's future." "The interesting thing," Elena replied, studying the quantum displays showing the growing network of cooperative worlds, "is that we're still just beginning to understand what's possible. Every species brings new insights, new ways of thinking about quantum mechanics. We're not just sharing technology, we're evolving together." President Santos, watching Earth's night sky from her office, could see the changes. Where once there had been empty space, now quantum arrays created beautiful auroras as ships and stations phased between states of reality. Humanity had not only survived its first major galactic crisis, it had transformed it into an opportunity for universal advancement. The age of conquest was over. The age of quantum civilization had begun. And humanity, the species that had once seemed primitive to the Dominion, now stood at the forefront of this new era, not through force of arms, but through the power of understanding and the willingness to share it. As the quantum network expanded across the galaxy, a truth became clear. The greatest power lay not in the ability to destroy or dominate, but in the capacity to transform and elevate. Humanity's greatest victory hadn't been defeating the Dominion. It had been showing the galaxy a better way forward.